Good day, Columbus, 8:15. How'd you sleep last night? Chances are you woke up feeling a little tired.
Have given way to sleeping, where sleepless nights yield to restful sleep.
Oh, do you know, I sometimes have terrible trouble sleeping.
Hey, it's Sleeping Beauty.
Didn't sleep a wink.
In my routine interviews of patients, I always ask, how do you sleep? And many of them reflect and they say, great, with Ambien.
Tried 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer dissolves quickly.
When taking Lunesta, don't drive or operate machinery until you feel fully awake. Walking, eating, driving,
How to repair it.
That's why work.
Because you're the one that has to do it.
From illegal
Symptoms
drugs
are
now,
just that.
because
They're
now America is
symptoms
so
of
medicated.
underlying
Why not just
Happens to a lot of people.
So you have to look further
Absolutely.
to what's the cause.
Report experiencing some kind of
unpleasant taste,
You just point your back.
There's the body in dysfunction, there's the body in imbalance.
Then get
Whole time to do that.
There are pressures upon people, but it's these sort of short, quick fixes are probably not the way forward.
How was my sleeping at Beida University? Freshman year to my junior year, I should say, because the GPA is very important during that period, and so my sleeping is not so good. Some students in this university, they usually sleep just 3 or 4 hours. Students here will stay up very late or just don't sleep to prepare an exam, and the next day they go to the exam classroom and quickly write down the thing that they remember, and maybe after just 2 days or 3 days they forget. Such problem, I don't think such problem, if you go to a doctor, it could be solved. Because it's mainly such somnia, right? Such somnia problem closely related to your mental state.
Insomnia, they come just for they want to improve their sleep, but actually the root, the basic cause of their disorder are not the sleep itself. Maybe depressive disorder, anxiety. Usually they didn't realize. They just say, okay, just help me to have good sleep, so I will feel okay, nothing. I don't have any other disorder, just sleepless. But we understand. We need to analyze to, to establish the trust, belief between patient and doctors. We need to find the root reason. This is experience point for sleeping. Insomnia. The point especially is for insomnia.
郭老师这样会疼吗？
的天书 both 天书 and 中脘 and 气海 just regulate the meridian, the channel around here on the abdomen. 内关 yes. Are you afraid of this? Too many needles, more needle than that than the first time.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Because in China, the heart in charge of the many emotions, and also in charge of the blood. So the sleep have most very important relation with blood, because this in theory of TCM, the yang must go into yin, and the people will sleep. Yin is exist in the blood, yang is exist in the qi. So if the blood deficiency, the yin will be deficiency. So haven't enough yin, so yang can't go to the yin, so they have the disturbance of sleep. That is the first. The second is for the emotion, also have the same reason, because the people must have enough yin to control the yang. If the yin is deficiency, the yang will go upward or to excess. They will disturb the spirit of the people, so they will affect the emotion.
The economic dimensions are affecting the hospitals. So the doctor's pay is oftentimes tied to how many patients they see. And so there is a push to have more and more patients, which goes against the idea of spending a lot of time with people. And there is some kind of competition then between the Western and the traditional to have the patients and, to make the money.
In China, the most right attitude is just to be realistic, to face the music, because China is a developing country and there are so many people and the job opportunity is very limited. I'm kind of there is a word that's like idealist. I kind of know that. There perhaps I still couldn't face the music now. But the result is that the score is not very high and they drop down my GPA. So that kind of thing kindly exemplifies that I'm an idealist sometimes. If I hadn't choose the 4 or 5 courses that really make me hate myself today, maybe I could learn a high GPA and go to American or something. Maybe I could find a job more easily or something. In China, most of the situation is that your parents will push you to get a good score, to study well, to study excellently, and to push you did well in the college and push you go abroad or something. There is a strategy that the new students becomes more and more realistic.
Harmony is from the government. They said harmony, but it's I think it's not only depending on the quick work. It's also depending on the difference between the rich people and poor people. Because in China, there's an old saying: the people not afraid of poor, but afraid of unfair. This is old saying in Chinese. So because all the developing countries, not only in China, I think, for example in Africa, I think the difference between the rich and poor is more obvious than developed countries. If I have gone to Japan, I think there in Japan, the poor and the richer, I think almost they have difference, but not as obvious as in China. For example, in China, maybe the very, very expensive cars, some people buy these cars. So it's people will think unfair. Why so many people have so many money? This makes them their disturbance of their heart.
The price of the picking apartment is very expensive. It's much more than USA. So there are so many things. It's very expensive. It's too expensive to have to our generation. So people have always spend all the time fighting, struggling in life.
Have in China a whole culture that is based in traditional medicine, whether they know it or not. I mean, in terms of diet and certain other aspects. I think there's a generational difference. I think the younger people are much more interested in the Western forms of medicine and kind of look askance at TCM, whereas a lot of the patients for TCM tend to be older. You do see that in a generational form. And there's also the question of how are you maintaining the integrity of the traditional medicine.
The speed of the society has become more faster than before. Even for us, maybe 10 years ago, I have only 20 patients one day, 50, so I have much more patients than before. I think the economic developing is on the base of quick work, so the quick work must affect the emotion and something of the people.
Chinese Asians, their mind, they believe in people and the nature, the balance and people and nature and the development, just like the Chinese government say it now, 和谐. You know the 和谐.
What's that?
It actually means inner peace, but the government said it means the peace between people and people. Don't be fight, don't be fight, and keep the peace, no war. And actually, it should mean, everyone feel inner peace inside, and they could get what they want.
There's a very broad concept and narrow concept. The broad concept, spirit contains emotion, thinking, memory, a lot of spirit activity. And narrow is just the emotion. Emotion are it's a narrow meaning of spirit in Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine, while the spirit is controlled by the heart. So if the regular condition is the spirit can stay in the house, how to say, quietly, especially in the night. But in the morning, in the daytime, the spirit can control the activities. So that's why if sleepless, insomnia, sleepless, maybe the heart cannot stay in the house, in his house, the heart. The spirit cannot stay quietly in the house. So sleepless.
车辆起步，请扶稳坐好。刚上车的乘客请往里走，没卡乘客请投币。前方到站是安贞西里。The next stop is 安贞西里。
后门上得了位，您到前门上海投币了。